X-Files is one of the greatest TV shows, and here's why. Hi, welcome back to The Board Book Geek. My name is Will. I host this weird little thing from my living room armchair. How are all of you? You will note microphone. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the X-Files. Let's break it down and just discuss. So what is the X-Files? So the X-Files is a television show. The original run was the early 90s to the early noughties. And it has the iconic theme. Gillian Anderson, David Duchovny played Mulder and Scully. Even if you've never seen it, you're probably aware of the pop culture behind it. So let's discuss the X-Files. So the X-Files was an unusual series at the time. It broke boundaries, partly because of the way it was shot, partly because it was it was an anthology-based series, so there was always a run-through, there was always a connecting plot. Even if you dipped in and out of episodes, there was always something. So the episodes were divided into two quarters, the Monster of the Week episodes, and it has some brilliant ones of those, such as the one where he looks death in the face. That's a brilliant episode. To the mythology episodes, which deal with either the aliens, the grey aliens, abduction, Mulder's sister, she was abducted by aliens, and so on. Well, there's a bit more complicated than that, but he thinks she was abducted by aliens to start with. So you have two characters which are played off against each other. You have Mulder, Fox Mulder, who is this believer. He believes in aliens, UFO, the supernatural. He is willing to go out there. He's willing to pursue these weirdos. He has a nickname called Spooky Mulder. And then you have Scully, who is the non-believer. And it's interesting to see they're juxtaposed together in these two characters. Later on, you get other characters, and actually some roles switch because the character of Mulder was written out of a lot of episodes. A lot of episodes focused, especially later, on Scully. And progressively towards the end, where you had Monica and Doggett introduced, Scully became the believer. She became the one that believed in all of this stuff because she witnessed it. As a character is well written, she's rounded. She's a nice archetypal strong woman who isn't scared to be vulnerable and express femininity. She's flawed, but she's also flawed character. She's a human character. Mulder is the same. He is not scared of being a little out there. He's paranoid. He's this character that's been through hell and suffers the trauma of it. So there are two X-Files movies. There's the X-Files The Movie, which is a mythology one, kind of. And then you have I Want to Believe, which is more like a Monster of the Week thing. And then you have the Revival series, which is actually very good, but I don't want to talk about that in this video. I want to just focus on the original run and the original series and the two films. The films are very good. I mean, the actual first movie draws the characters in different ways. So you can pick this film up and understand what's going on. You don't need to have watched the series to understand the film. The second film, I Want to Believe, didn't do well at the box office, but the director's cut is very good. It's just a shame that it wasn't a mythology-based one. It should have been a mythology thing rather than a Monster of the Week. But that's not a problem. That happens. It's just the nature of television and film. And it's not bad. So enjoy it for what it is. So going into it, you have these series. And yes, the last few series do kind of tail off a bit in the original run. Especially that last season. It definitely had its highlights, especially towards the end. Like, those last few episodes were brilliantly done. It's just a shame that I felt like it didn't have a strong focus, and it was trying to introduce new characters so Mulder and Scully could be written out completely, and it was going to carry on like Law and Order style, but that didn't happen, obviously. So how to watch the X-Files. Now this is where we get really interesting. I have the original DVD release of the X-Files, so I have all the original series in and alongside the films. You can get both the films on Blu-ray, and you can get a remastered version of the X-Files. Now, the remastering of X-Files is how a remaster should be done. That's being honest. Every now and then, you watch, like Buffy. The remaster of Buffy was terrible. Bad cropping, zoomed in, stretched footage. Shows that weren't really meant to be seen in widescreen. Now, bar a handful of pickups, a lot of the early X-Files was actually shot in widescreen minus the pilot, which makes it easier because like a lot of 90s television, it was shot on videotape, which is a problem for remastering. So they have to reconstruct the episode manually. Well, they scan everything in and then reconstruct it digitally. On that side of it, the remaster is brilliant. The colours are nice. There's no other than a handful of the tiniest little bit of cropping in some shots what's shot in widescreen is shown as it was widescreen. You actually get more going on, you get more in the backgrounds, which surprised me. And actually, it's a good remaster. It doesn't feel fake, it doesn't feel tacked on. The clarity is nice. And I'm like, how did they get this clarity from a 1990s into the early noughties TV series? Because it looks spectacular. That's available on Prime and Blu-ray along with the two films. Some of the special effects have been slightly tweaked. There's a handful of shots they couldn't tweak, but there's some added, they haven't changed them, they've just tweaked them to make them a little bit cleaner, which is again a good thing. It's a positive affirmation of a brilliant remaster. The original DVDs present the TV in its 4-point whatever it's meant to be originally shown in, and actually, to be honest, whichever way you watch it, you're not going to miss out on anything. The remaster is really good, and so is the original DVD. It's great writing, great television. This was one of the first TV shows that really blurred the lines between TV and fandom. It was in the early days of the internet, and you can see archives of people talking about this on early message boards and early forums, ripping apart the X-Files and this and that, and it's fascinating to see this fandom. It's just a phenomenal series. There's some great original dramas on Audible, there's some great books, there's a prequel series which is really good. You've got these two X-Files Origin, which is Mulder and Scully in high school, and they're really good books. So whichever way you choose to consume the X-Files, do check out the X-Files. It's a good series. It's well written, it's interesting, great characters, the writing is good. Yeah, it has its ups and downs, but that's the true of every television show in the world. There is no perfect run. You know, and there are definitely some episodes which are a little bit quirky, some that don't necessarily work on every level, but I would say about 90% of the series is good. Just, you'll find the ones you like. There is a great episode that was literally shot in 4 takes. There is a whole episode that is literally 4 actors shooting 4 takes in one go. And it's hilarious because there are trip-ups and things, but they work. And it changed the landscape of television, how television was shot, how it was made. Everything on TV up until then was very warm and saturated, and it changed the aesthetic of television. The X-Files is a phenomenal show with an amazing mythology, and I will be here for weeks if I wanted to explain it all. X-Files is one of the greatest television shows ever. Tell me what you think in the comments below, and as always, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.